In times of protracted crisis, armed conflicts, deteriorating security and peace talks in Afghanistan, this panel discussion focused on an underestimated but very important topic: the economic crisis in Afghanistan that has severe implications for the population and is directly related to human security. In this context, the panelists were not only focusing on the big economic picture, but in particular on potentials and opportunities for the population, exploring bottom-up approaches, alternative livelihoods, remittances, and how to make a living with small businesses.
Im Namen der Universal Peace Federation Austria darf ich Sie ganz herzlich begrüßen zu unserem heutigen Abend. Wir werden eigentlich Englisch reden heute, so I'm welcoming you this evening to a conference on economic potentials and opportunities in Afghanistan. It's our great honor that the Austrian Afghan Association is our guest today, and they organize this evening.
Our organization, which is grateful to be a guest of the the Austrian Peace organization, which is a part of a worldwide group. I want to brief you a little bit about our organization, which is a bilateral organization, which means it is an Austrian organization, an official Austrian organization, a part of the Partner of All Nations umbrella organization. It's a sort of a civil society organization which helps to promote particular countries here in Austria. We have some supporters from the Austrian civil society organizations, which help us to organize projects, support projects in Afghanistan.
Our approach was to look to an alternative topic when it comes to Afghanistan. It's all about peace talks, it's all about security, it's all about the question of how to provide peace. But, you know, the economy is some kind of underestimated factor.
Razik Azad is an economist and has studied at the University of Vienna and has carried out economic research on the poverty in Afghanistan and how to build a state again out of poverty.
I was asked to talk about the socio-economic situation of Afghanistan, and for that I have chosen 3 core areas, namely economic growth and poverty reduction, security and education. So Afghanistan has experienced a large increase in its economy over the period 2002 to 2014. As a matter of fact, the economy has quintupled from $4 billion in the year 2002 to about $20 billion in the year 2014. The term poverty should be defined accurately for Afghanistan. So under poverty in Afghanistan, we understand a minimum of consumption expenditure which meets the basic needs for food and non-food items. Monetarily measured, it is about $1 US for a person in 1 year. In the year 2016-2017, with data observations of about 20,000, which is large enough to make accurate estimations. The poverty rate has increased to 55%. Contradiction of economic growth, high economic growth, but high poverty rate is explained by the lack of inclusive growth. In other words, there has been economic growth, but not all people in the country has profited from that. The growth rate of the population has been higher than that of the economy. Or the 2.3 million returnees of 2015 from the neighboring countries, they have put a strong pressure on the economy, and so the poverty rate has increased. A state which is unable to provide security to its citizens might not be regarded as legitimate. Security sector reform has been developed or designed in a way not to save the lives of people, but to serve the interests of the donors. And this can be seen also in the amount of Afghan soldiers. About 45,000 Afghan soldiers have died since the year 2014. The access to education has increased for both girls and boys. So about 65% of boys and 45% of girls have access to primary education in Afghanistan. In general or in total, the welfare of Afghans has declined in recent years.
I welcome Mr. Bakhtash because he will now show opportunities and resources offered by Afghanistan.
The population of the country is almost 30 million, and something which makes Afghanistan very unique is let me read it from the numbers, not to make any mistakes. 14 million of the population is under age of 15, makes it the youngest nations in the world. What's really important is 1.5 million Afghans are internally displaced. Internally displaced means that they have to leave either for economical reasons or because of conflicts. More than 2 million Afghans are returning, mainly from Pakistan and Iran since 2015. One word about number of civil servants in Afghanistan. There are more than 400,000. So I also have put gender percentage. 24% of the civil servants, this 400,000, I just called them 400,000. I'm not counting the military, just civilians, civil servants, or women. Export is increasing 28%, and what does it mean? It's less than $1 billion. And imports are growing also, it's more than $6 billion. So there is a huge trade deficit. That means we are exporting less than importing. 400,000 are entering new labor market from the population every year, 400,000. So this is a picture of blue ocean, which I will be explaining in the next slides. Economically and socially, you might be wondering if we can also look into these figures in internet. Why we are giving you these figures? For education and health, there are a couple of opportunities for those particular investors, basically socially and economically. They can penetrate, they can do market penetrations. They can look for possible partnership. For example, one private university in X location of Austria would be interested to do partnership with X universities in Afghanistan. I heard it that every year from a country like Afghanistan spends $100 million either to go to Pakistan or India for treatment. I think this is significantly high. There are particular areas where someone with little can achieve a lot. Agriculture. So these are the potential areas where possible investors can basically invest. Basically, Afghanistan is a paradise for fruits. Last year, 2018, the grape production was almost 1 million ton. The next thing is saffron. So we have significantly increased production in saffron. Last year, basically, we produced 10 tons versus a year before was 6 tons. Let me show you quickly a video to understand how silk is produced in Afghanistan. This is like 100 years ago, but people are still working hard. Please have a look. It's just for 1 minute. The unemployment in Afghanistan is 55%. Business climate issues, which are access to credit, government support, institutionalization support for sustainability. With foreign aid, no country has been built. Afghanistan cannot be an exception. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Petra Oberberger. She has made a research and has in fact obtained a master's degree at the Vienna University of Economics on the economic effects of Afghanis coming to Austria. You know, what does it mean economically for Afghanistan? What does it mean economically for Austria?
Because I've been working in the sector of development cooperation for a couple of years, previously for the Austrian Foreign Ministry and now with the Austrian Development Agency. And remittances was always a topic which came across during our work. I was then not only focusing only on the economic effects of remittances, but also the social effects. And now, during this speech, I will more focus on the economic effects. I just want to explain the difference. Economic remittances, I already explained. It's about the money which is transferred back to the country of origin. But also there is another concept which was developed back by an American scientist back in the 90s already. And it's social remittances. And just to clarify this definition, it means that it's not all about money which is transferred back to the country of origin, but also circulation of ideas, practices, skills, identities, and social capital, which circulates between sending and receiving communities. So if there is a fragile situation in the country, many more people leave the country and have to try to find a job abroad to support their families. So if it was shown in many literatures, if the situation deteriorates in terms of security, remittances tend to rise, which includes not only low-income countries, but also middle and high-income countries. The figure was nearly $700 billion worldwide. If we just have a look at the low and middle income countries, the figure would be more than $500 billion. So it's a lot. As most Afghans living in Iran and Pakistan abroad, they are at the top list by far. The remittances sent from Afghanistan to other countries. So the data which is available shows two countries, Pakistan, which was not very surprising for me, but the second one, Tajikistan, I couldn't explain myself at first, because it's more than $60 million. Afghan refugees living there have problems to find jobs as well, because the citizens are get all the jobs, you need to have the citizenship to get the jobs.
Blue ocean by economical term means that basically there are not many actors yet to exploit the opportunities. There are opportunities all around.